Good evening, students. Today we will start with a new chapter which consists of the topics leadership and motivation. So we often hear the term leadership. Ba leader kotha ami hokoloe huni thaku hoy nai. So who is a leader? So what does a leader do, or what are the qualities of a leader? A leader is a person who helps in directing others towards achieving certain goals, right? He is able to influence others. His behavior will be influencing the other people so that they will also follow his footsteps to attain certain objectives or goals. A leader will be showing the path of how the goals can be achieved. Buzi paisa ne? So who is the leader? You can understand now? So now let us come to the topic of the qualities of a leader. Leader is on our kenekwa qualities hobo lage. So how should be a leader? A leader should be having the qualities of what? He should be able to see what things will come in future, or he should be a far-sighted person. He should have the qualities of being intellectual. He should be able to understand the deeper meaning of things, right? Then he should be a person who will be of strong physical build. These things are there in your book. I'm just taking out the gist of the things which are there in your book. First, let us look what is the definition of leadership as given in your book. Leadership is the process of directing and influencing task-related activities of group members. Leadership is the ability to use different forms of power to influence followers' behavior or ways. The leader must be able to persuade others to do the things in a certain manner. Leader jana ki kore? Buddha was a leader, right? He was able to influence people towards believing in a certain way, right? Buddha had followers, so he was an influential person. He was the leader who showed people the way to enlightenment, right? There is another definition which is given by Coons and Donnell. Leadership is the ability of a manager to induce subordinates to work with confidence and zeal. Remember the definitions and the names of the persons who have given the definitions. Next, when I say that leadership is the quality of directing others, it will consist of supervising, communicating, leading, and motivating. When I talk about the term directing, then directing includes these qualities too, okay? Okay, now come to the topic of what are the qualities of a leader. Leader as an or kenekwa quality thakibo lage. But what should be the characteristics of a leader? Leadership is a personal quality. Personal quality means the quality of leadership differs from people to people, right? It differs from person to person. A person can be a good leader and he may not be a good leader. It depends. It depends on the personal skills of the person. Leadership presupposes the existence of a group of followers. When I talk about leadership, it is assumed that there will be a group of followers who will be following him. Without followers, there cannot be a leader, right? Because the followers will be following the leader, right? Then leadership tries to influence the individual's behavior, and leadership arises out of the functioning of a common goal. Because in the quality of leadership, everyone is trying to achieve that same objective or the goal, and it is a continuous process. However, the styles of leadership, it differs from situation to situation. Ejon manue keneke dhorone behave koribo, or what kind of leadership style he will be adopting will depend on situation. Under different circumstances, a leader can behave in different ways, okay? Leader can behave in various ways depending on the circumstances, right? Buzi paisa? Next, what is the difference between leadership and management? It is simple. Leadership will consist of the relationship between the leader and the follower, and management will consist of the relationship between superior and the subordinate. And management is a core term which will include the qualities of our leadership, right? Next, what are the qualities of a successful leader? Just look at the terms: physical energy and stamina. He should be a person who is having stamina and the zeal to work with confidence, with vigor. He should be working. He should be an intelligent person. He should have the vision of looking into the future. He should have the quality of being foresightedness, right? He should take the initiative. When no other person is taking the initiative, he should be taking the risk, right? He should be self-confident. He should be open-minded and flexible to the ideas which are put forward by the followers. He should have the sense of responsibility, and he must be maintaining good personal relations or human relations with everyone, okay? Next, let us come to the most important topic, which are the types of leadership. How do we define leadership? Leadership types can be defined based on authority, based on leadership continuum, leadership styles based on a management grid, and Likert system of management. These are the different types or styles of management of leadership, which we will be studying one by one. The first is based on authority. Do you remember what is authority? In our earlier classes we have discussed. So what is authority? Authority is the power to take decisions and ask for the obedience from the subordinates, right? And that authority is given to a person by what? By virtue of his status or position. Position to karne authority paise, hoy na? But because of his rank, he is getting that power or the authority. As soon as he leaves that position, he will no longer have that authority, right? Hoy na? Retirement person pisot to organization eta decision lobole to manujoner capacity nathake, hoy na? Because he has given up his job role, right? So first to saw based on authority. Based on authority, we have three different styles. The first is the autocratic or authoritarian style of leadership. Who is an autocratic leader? An autocratic leader or autocratic style of leadership is that in which the leader himself, he will take all the decisions by himself. He will not ask for the ideas from the subordinates. Sub decisions, sub actions, nije lobo. Right? The autocratic leader will take all the decisions on his own. He will have control over the whole situation. He will not give any freedom to the subordinates. Buzi paisa? Ekdom formal. The relationship between the subordinate and the leader will be very formal. There is no scope for diversions. And the mindset or the freedom of the subordinates are not taken into consideration. Ekdom Hitler type. Okay? All decisions will be taken by the autocratic leader. Buzi paisa? The second one is democratic or participative. In participative or democratic kind of leadership, the subordinates and the leader both have the freedom to take the decisions. It is a kind of what? It is a kind of give and take. A consultative or democratic leader will take the decisions in consultation and participation with the subordinates. Subordinates are also having the freedom to suggest ideas or their beliefs. And the decisions are taken after taking the viewpoints of the subordinates. Okay? The third is the free rein or laissez-faire leadership. Free rein. That means in this kind of leadership, the subordinates, they can also take the decisions. And the leader gives the freedom to the subordinates to make decisions, to act within their own boundaries. The leader will only set the limits, and the subordinates will be able to take decisions on their own. But they should know their limits. Within a certain boundary, they have to make the decisions. Monot thakibo, based on authority, there are three kinds. First is the autocratic, second is the democratic, and the third is the free rein or the laissez-faire. Monot thakibo ne? And here, the free rein leadership relinquishes the leadership position. Relinquish means giving up. The leader will give up his position and ask any of his subordinate to act on his behalf. He will delegate his authority. Nijor jitu power thake, he power to beleg ejonok completely di die. Okay? Next, we will come to the leadership style, which is based on leadership continuum. Continuum means it is a scale which shows the different amount of leadership that the leader will exercise, right? A leadership continuum theory is given by two persons, which are Tenenbaum and Schmidt. You have to remember the names. Okay? Naam monot thakibo. So I have highlighted the terms so that you can remember. In this style of leadership, you see, there is a scale. Ekhon scale ekhon thake. Jot, in one side, we will have the totally autocratic leader on the left-hand side. Our right-hand side, we will have the free rein style, where the subordinates have the maximum amount of power. And the power of the superior is less. Let me show you the diagram. This is the Likert, this is the scale of continuum by Schmidt and Tenenbaum, where the autocratic style of leadership is shown on the left-hand side and the free rein style is shown on the right-hand side. As we go from left to right, the amount of freedom of the subordinates, it will increase. Yat swa, jetia ami left-hand side of thako, we see that the manager makes decisions and announces. That means he will just tell the decisions. He will not take the opinion of the other person. In the next line you see, manager sells the decision. Here the manager will only tell the decision. He will tell. In the first sentence you see, manager makes decisions and announces. Here the autocratic style of leadership is followed. The boss or the leader will just tell his decisions. In the second position you see, the amount of freedom gradually increases. So here the manager will sell the decision. Sell the decision mane, he have to sell his decision. That means the subordinates might or might not accept his decision. There is some amount of freedom. In the third stage, you see, the manager presents ideas and invites suggestions. Here, in this case, you see, the freedom of the subordinates is more than the previous one. And here the manager will give his ideas. And then he will take the suggestions. But he might or might not implement those suggestions. In the fourth stage, you see, the manager will present tentative decisions subject to change. That means he will give his decisions, but based on the ideas or the suggestions from the subordinates, he might change his decisions if he feels like. After that, you see, in the 5th stage, the manager will present the problems, get the suggestions, and then he will make the decisions. In the 5th stage, he will tell about the problem. Then he will not give his decisions or the solution to the problem. He will ask for the suggestions or the solutions from the subordinates. And after taking their viewpoints, he will give his opinion. Next, we see manager will define the limits, ask the group to make the decisions. Here, the manager will set the boundaries within which the subordinates will take the decisions. And the subordinates will take the decisions on their own. And in the last stage, the manager will just tell about the problem and give the entire freedom to the subordinates to take the decisions. Okay? Next style of leadership is the managerial grid system, which is given by two theorists named as Robert Blake and Jane Monton. Here you see, in this style of leadership, a grid is made where two dimensions are taken into consideration. First is the concern for people. Here we are taking into consideration whether we will be more concerned about the people who are working for the organization, or we will think more about fulfilling the objectives of production. মানে প্ৰডাকশনটো আমি বঢ়াবলৈ কাৰণে আমি বেছি গুৰুত্ব দিম নে মানুহখিনিক আমি এমপ্লয়িজখিনিক স্যাটিসফাই কৰিবলৈ আমি বেছি গুৰুত্ব দিম. Here we take these two dimensions into our consideration. ইয়াত চোৱা, this is the leadership style based on the managerial grid. Yat ki hoise, along the x-axis, we are showing concern for production. That means in this axis, we will be considering the factors like our production should be good. That means the items that we are producing should be of good quality, whether they are produced within the stipulated amount of time, whether we are producing the required volume of quantity, or our targets are fulfilled or not. We will look into these factors when we are talking about concern for production. Amar production to bhal hoise na nai. We will talk about that. And when we are talking about concern for people, we will think about how we are satisfying our employees. The working conditions in the organization, whether it is good, whether the people, they are motivated to do the work, they are provided required amount of incentives or not, their security is taken into consideration or not. All these things we will be we will talk about when we are talking about concern for people. Buji paisa? Yat ami manukhini gurutto dim, manukhini keneke ami satisfy kori rakhibo paro, hiyotor needs kini ami fulfill, organization to fulfill korise na nai hekini gurutto dim. Aru when we are talking about concern for people, we are talking about fulfilling the production targets. Okay? So based on that, we will name the different ki koy etu tumalkor maths ot ki koy that coordinates, the different coordinates we will be naming. So it will be better if you mark them in your book for your proper understanding. It will be easier when you read again next time. The first jitu yat ase 1-1, it is the indifferent or impoverished style of leadership. First to indifferent. Indifferent kele koa hoise because here you see concern for production is also very low, and good goal. Here you see when the coordinates are 1-1, you see that the concern for production is also low and concern for people is also low. That means the manager or the leader, he is neither concerned about production, he is neither concerned about people. He will just ask the employees to do the task and he will remain indifferent. Tar eko matlobe nai. He is getting his salary, he is not concerned whether the organization is benefiting or not, whether the subordinates are happy with the organization, he is not concerned. So it is said that indifferent or impoverished. Buzi paisa? Next we come to the coordinates 1-9. Yat ki hoise? Yat ami dekhisu je concern for people is very high. But concern for production is what? Is 0? Oh, sorry, 1 or pa dhorisu na 1 hobo ekarne. So the concern for production is less, but the concern for people is high. Aru ei style to kami ki ko? Country club. This style of leadership is known as country club, where the concern for production is low, but the concern for production is low and concern for people is very high. Here the manager is very much concerned about the employees. Buji paisa? You have to remember the names of this grid. Third style to swa. The third style according to your book, etu 1 number diya ase kitabot, etu second diya ase, etu third diya ase. Here the concern for production is very high, but here the manager is not concerned about the people. Right? And as a manager jan production or khetrot je bahut concerned hoy, what he will do? He will anyhow try to fulfill the targets of production. Be it adopting punitive measures. Mane jodi employees kini bhalke kaam nokore, then he will also adopt autocratic style. Ki koribo? Punishment to dibo. And jodi tumar employees kiniye bhalke kaam kore, then he will reward it. But he will be very much concerned into the production. Yatswa, when the coordinates are 9-9, that means the concern for people is also very high and concern for production is also very high, right? So here the term used is team spirit. Yat likhilwa team spirit. Yat duitake homane gurutto diye and etu jitu majot ase, that is known as the middle of the road or status quo, where the manager will try to make a balance between both fulfilling the needs or satisfying the needs of the people as well as also giving importance to fulfilling the targets of production. Yat balance ata maintain koribole sai in the middle position. So etu ki asile position to? This position was indifferent or impoverished, right? This was country club. Then here we had ki asile? 9-1 ki asile? Parish or Parish or product dictatorial. This was middle of the road or status quo, and when the coordinates were 9-9 or the production factors and people factor both are given highest importance, then it was known as team spirit. Amonat thakibo? Next we will come to the next style of leadership. Pratham to asle based on authority. Second was managerial grid. Third is managerial grid to pohil. No, second to ami to continuum to pohislu no, leadership continuum. Third is the managerial grid. Fourth is the Likert system of management. Likert system of management boli jitu koa hoise, this is also known as 4 system of management. 4 system, because in Likert system of management, a person named Francis Likert, who gave this theory, he gave 4 systems. That is why this system is also known as your 4 system of management. In this type of leadership style or management system, he gave 4 systems, which are benevolent, exploitative, authoritative. Exploitative, authoritative, which is the first system. Exploitative, autocratic. Autocratic mane moi koislo, a leader will be very much strict in his decisions. He will not obey or not ask for the ideas of any other subordinates. But here, along with this autocratic, we are using another term which is exploitative. That means he will exploit his followers. He will make all the decisions on his own. The subordinates will not have any say in the subordinates will not be able to object any of his ideas. The way he presents his ideas and decisions, the subordinates have to directly accept it. Buji paisa? And the communication will flow in a downward manner. The relationship will be very much formal. But in case of benevolent autocratic, which is the second system, although the leader is autocratic, but he will allow some amount of freedom to the subordinates. That means he will reward those subordinates who will be doing the task as he says, and if the subordinates are not following him, then only he will punish. Just a minute, okay? Just give me 1 second. So in the second case or the second system, the leader is benevolent. That means he will have some amount of, like what? Some amount of freedom he will be giving to the subordinates. He will only punish the ones who will not be following him, whereas the ones who are obeying him or following him to the highest level, he will be rewarding them. That is the difference between your exploitative and benevolent. Exploitative leader will exploit the followers, and benevolent leader will be what? He will be punishing only when it is necessary and when others are not following him or questioning his authority, right? Third is consultative. Consultative mane, the leader will consult the subordinates, and democratic ki hoy? He will give freedom to the subordinates and they will be working like in a democratic system. Buji paisa ekhini? In case of the third system, the consultative system, the subordinates will take the routine decisions. Tamne jikhini normal, easy jikhini routine decisions thake, the subordinates will be taking on their own. But only the higher or strategic decisions will be taken by the leader. I am going at a little faster pace today, okay? Because I will be taking some leave in the next classes. Next, you see what are the variables that consist of leadership. Leader, follower, organization and environment. Eto to bujabo loga eku nai. Just remember the main variables in leadership is leader, follower, organization ekhon thakibo. Jot manager will take the role of the leader, and there will be an environment, be it the internal environment or the external environment. these things you read on your own, okay? পাৰিবা নহয় মাজৰ যিখিনি লিডাৰশ্বিপ ইফেক্টিভনেছ কি হয় এইখিনি পঢ়িলে পাৰিবা তোমালোকে Next, we will start with motivation. So, what is motivation? Motivation means to motivate. No, motivation means to influence or to guide them so that they will be able to do the work more efficiently. Okay? Aru beleg? তোমালোক পঢ়িবৰ কাৰণে কিহে motivate কৰে? What motivates you to study hard? What motivates you? What motivates you to study? পঢ়িবৰ কাৰণে সবে পঢ়ি ভাল পোৱা? ভাল পোৱা নে? ভাল নোপোৱা কিন্তু পঢ়িবলৈ তো পঢ়িছা তো কিহে মোটিভেট কৰিছে? That after studying you will get a degree, then you will get a job that motivates you, you will have some money in your pockets, and then our government is also bringing up various schemes, হয় নে? স্কুটি দিয়ে নহয় আজিকালি কেলে? বেলেগ অন্তত কলেজত এডমিশ্যন লগাই ল'লে we will get a scooty, we will get some দিয়ে নহয় মেট্ৰিক হ'লে 10,000 নে কিবা তেনেকুৱা হাই ছেকেণ্ডেৰী হ'লে 12,500 নে কিবা এনেকুৱা নাছিলে জানো নিযুত মইনা কিবা কিবি স্কিমছ আছিলে ন সেইবোৰ কিয় দিয়ে টু মটিভেট দেম হয়নে অন্তত এনেই নপঢ়িলেও বা পেৰেণ্টছে নপঢ়ালেও অন্তত স্কুটিখনৰ লোভতে বা সেই পইচাখিনিৰ লোভতে ছোৱালীখিনিক স্কুললৈ পঠাব আৰু when girls children they go to school or they study or they get educated many problems in our economy they get solved early marriages the problem of early marriages gets solved the problem of literacy gets solved our malnutrition or problem to solve bahut because it is a cycle because when people get educated many problems get solved he karne to motivate the people the parents the society the government is giving them bringing out various schemes right so motivation is a process of influencing others so that they can do the task efficiently right let's look at the definition I know you know the terms but you are not able to make out on your own right so the term motivation it is derived from the word motive the word motive means the urge to do something according to Stephen Robbins is a very famous person who gave various theories on motivation. Motivation is the willingness to exert high levels of effort towards organizational goals conditioned by the effort's ability to satisfy some individual needs. Buji paisa ne to? It is the willingness to exert high levels of effort towards organizational goals. That means when you motivate others, they must be willing to do the things on their own. Koi thakibo loga nohoy. Nije monor pra bhitor pra ahibo je moi ekhini na ekhini moi kaam koriboi lagibo. Moi porhiboi lagibo. Hetu mane bhitor pra ahibo lagibo, right? Conditioned by the effort's ability to satisfy some individual needs. Also in motivation, it is said that people try to fulfill some individual needs also, apart from fulfilling the organizational needs. Hetu kotha koise je conditioned by the effort's ability to satisfy some individual needs. Okay? Next, let us look at the characteristics of motivation. Motivation or characteristics ki hoy? Motivation is said to be a psychological concept. Why it is said to be a psychological concept? because it should come from within, right? It depends from people to people. It depends on the psychological mindset of the people, right? One factor can be motivating for someone, but the same factor might not be motivating for the other person. হয়তো এটা মানুহে job এটা পোৱাৰ লগে লগে satisfy হৈ যাব পাৰে, but the same job, if it is got by another person, he might not be still happy or motivated to do the work. He might be searching for another job also. Because why? That job is not able to give him the satisfaction or the able to fulfill the needs. আমি পঢ়িম আগত next JTET theories বোৰ পঢ়িম. Next, motivation is total and not piecemeal. That means motivation should be a continuous, and it should be in total. অকমান সময়ৰ কাৰণে অকল মোটিভেট কৰিছে তাৰ পিছত নাই কৰা তেনেকুৱা হলে নহব. মোটিভেশনৰ characteristics হৈছে যে it should be motivating someone for in the long run. Next, it is a continuous process. It causes goal-directed behavior, and motivation may be financial or non-financial. যেতিয়া মানুহে জব কৰে তোমালোকে দেখিবা যে along with financial benefits, there are other benefits given to the employees, like what? Some non-financial incentives or naam koason? Medical facilities, then housing allowances, then কেতিয়াবা কিছুমান tours or package বোৰ দিয়ে হয় না, bonus দিয়ে, bonus, and things can be non-monetary also. When you are in a company and your superiors or the company heads, they appreciate you or recognize you for your performance, that is also a motivation factor হয় না. যদি মই আজি তোমালোকৰ ক্লাছৰ ভিতৰত তোমালোকৰ ক্লাছৰ যোনজন ষ্টুডেণ্ট সবচে ভাল ৰিজাল্ট কৰিছে তেওঁক যদি মই ইয়াত মাতি আনি পেলাই এপ্ৰিচিয়েট কৰোঁ, বেলেগৰ আগত তেওঁৰ নাম লৈ পেলাই কওঁ যে চোৱা তাৰ ৰিজাল্টটো ইমান ভাল হৈছে, হি উইল অবভিয়াছলি মোটিভেটেড টু ডু বেটাৰ ইন হিজ ফিউচাৰ এক্সামছ, ৰাইট? So when the achievements are praised, that is also a kind of motivation, which is non-monetary, non-financial, right? Then motivation is a complex process because individuals differ in what motivates them. The same thing cannot be a motivating factor for everyone. Next, why do we need motivation? Motivation kyo dorkar? Why we need to be motivated always? Because when we are motivated, we can do things better. It helps in the proper utilization of resources. Then it helps in easier selection. Easier selection boli kyo koa hoise? Because when a person is motivated or the employees are motivated, then what happens? The employees will perform well, bhalke kaam koribo, bhalke kaam korar loge loge the productivity of the organization will increase. When the productivity of the organization will increase, then it will earn a good reputation in the market. Marketot naam to bhal hobo, marketot bhal naam hoar loge loge people will be willing to work for that organization, and when there is any vacancy, then more people will be attracted towards that particular vacancy. More people will be applying for that job, and when there is an abundance of people who will be applying for that particular job, then selection also will become easier. Hoine hekane koa hoise easier selection. Then better industrial relations. Industrial relations bur bhal hobo. Obviously, when people are working better or motivated themselves, then it will help in maintaining good relations with other companies also. There will be less trade disputes no hobo, strikes no hobo, hoy na? So industrial relations obviously bhal hobo. There will be less like implementation law bur besi strictly enforce koribole dorkar no hobo. So the relations will be better and it will facilitate in bringing changes. Next, we will come to a very important theory, which is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Abraham Maslow বুলি মানুহ এজন আছিলে যোনে need hierarchy theory to দিয়া হৈছে দিছিলে. So before we study this theory, there are certain assumptions. কিছুমান assumptions আমি লৈ পালে আমি এই theory to study কৰিম. This person Maslow was an American psychologist এজন আছিলে, and তেওঁ কৈছে যে people have different kinds of needs. মানুহবোৰৰ বেলেগ বেলেগ ধৰণৰ needs আছে, and people try to fulfill their needs, and these fulfillment of the needs, they help people to work. মানুহে কাম কিয় কৰে? Why do people work? মানুহে কাম কিয় কৰে? To earn money. The money earn কৰিছে, ঠিক আছে, to earn money. The money টোৱে তোমাৰ কোনটো need fulfill কৰিব? You have the needs of what? Needs of food. You have the needs of clothes. You have the needs of shelter. You have the needs of having financial security, health security. Hebur bostu lage ne. Money, people earn money, but ultimately through money people try to fulfill certain needs. Hoy ne? Kisuman nijor requirement fulfill koribole sai. Hoy ne? So ekhini bostue Abraham Maslow bahut dhuniya ke eta theory koise in a pyramidal structure. But before that, let me take some more points. Pratham kotha, fulfilling of the needs will bring motivation in people. Hoy ne? You agree with that? Next, do people try to fulfill all the needs at the same time? Tumi eketa time ot sob needs fulfill koribole soa neki? নহয় ন? প্ৰথম এজন তুমি বেসিক একদম লো ইনকাম স্ট্ৰেটাৰ মানুহ এজনক যদি আমি চাওঁ, যিজনৰ ঘৰ চৰ নাই, সিহঁতে কোনোমতে অকল খানাটো খাই পেলাই জীয়াই থাকে, হয়নে? চ' হিজ বেচিক নিড ইজ হাউ টু ছেটিছফাই হিজ হাংগাৰ, হয়নে? নিজৰ ভোকটো ছেটিছফাই কৰিবলৈ কাৰণে সি জীয়াই থাকে, কোনোমতে কেইটকামান ইনকাম কৰে. চ' দ্য ফাৰ্ষ্ট needs which a person tries to satisfy are the basic needs of food, shelter, and what? Food, shelter, and security. Hoine? And after, at the verge of fulfilling one need, a person thinks of satisfying the next need. Jetia eta need fulfill koribol pora tumar capacity to ahi jay, then only you will think about the next need. Hoine? Ne sob needs ekeloge fulfill koribo sam je aji moi ekdom lahe manue nijor position to increase koribo bisare, lahe sob needs bur fulfill koribole sai, hoy ne? This thing is said by Maslow. So kwa hoise je tumar human needs form a particular structure of hierarchy, and the first basic needs moi jigitar kotha koisu, those are the psychological needs. This is the person Maslow. A photo kon di disu jate tumalke bhalke monot rakha. Who gave the Maslow's theory? Abraham Maslow. He lived from the period 1908 to 1970. A manujon or naam Abraham Maslow. He gave the need hierarchy theory. So first, ekhini sailwa, human needs are wide in range and interrelated. One kind of need is similar or is related to another need. And needs are arranged in a hierarchy, and the lower level needs have to be at least primarily satisfied before one moves on to a higher level need. Buji paisa ekhini? Third, you see, a need that is satisfied is not a motivator. Only unsatisfied needs can motivate persons into action. Jodi amar need to satisfy hoi jay na, tetia ami motivate hoi na thako. যদি আমাৰ নিডটো ফুলফিল নহয় ন তেতিয়াহে আমি মটিভেট হওঁ এজন মানুহ যেতিয়া ভোকত কাম কৰে না সি বেছি ভালকৈ কাম কৰিব পাৰে কয় নে তেনেকৈ হয় নাই বিকজ হি হেজ দ্য নিড অফ ফুলফিলিং হিজ হাংগাৰ সেইটো কথা ইয়াত কোৱা হৈছে নেক্সট এজ চুন এজ আ নিড ইজ ছেটিছফাই আনাডাৰ নিড ইমাৰ্জেছ এজন মানুহে যেতিয়া এখন ডাঙৰ গাড়ী কিনিলে নেক্সট বাৰ যেতিয়া গাড়ী কিনিব তাতকৈ ডাঙৰ এখন বেছি ফিচাৰ্ছ থকা কিনিব বিচাৰে তাতকৈ তলৰ এখন কিনে জানো নিকিনে নহয় আজি যদি দুটা ৰুমৰ বেডৰুম বনত আছে কালি চাৰিটা বিচাৰিব চাৰিটা তথাপি দেট পাৰ্চন উইল নেভাৰ বি ছেটিছফাইড বিকজ হিউমেন নিডছ are human nature is like that actually. Then various need levels are interdependent and overlapping. Human needs form a particular structure or hierarchy. As one proceeds from base towards apex, needs become less essential. Lower level needs are more important. Moi jitu koisu roti kapra makan hekita besi important. Let me look at the diagram to asana nai saisu roba. Look at the diagram from your book. Kitabot ase tumalke swasun ase ne pyramid structure to enko pyramid structure era ase noy the lower level needs page number 246 here you see ekdam tolot jito needs দিয়া হৈছে the lower level of needs those are known as the psychological needs which are very basic in nature food rest shelter recreation then we have the needs of your safety and security needs safety from whom safety from what safety from danger rasta to hubo nwari hoy ne then protection against danger, protection against poverty, fair treatment. These are the safety and security needs. Security needs mean job security bisar no. Sakori eta thakile, at least we have that assurance that we will be having some amount of money. Hoy ne? Job security. Next we have the higher third level of needs which is the social needs. Yat tolor pra uporle ami jao. Thik ase? We go from the lower level needs towards the upper level needs or the upper level of the pyramid. Third is the social needs. Social needs means the needs of having good social relationships like that of having good friendship with your colleagues, good interpersonal relationships between the manager and the subordinate, right? After that we come to the next need of esteem, fourth level from the lowermost. Esteem needs mane moi jitu koisilu je manhue eta level eta homoyt status bisare recognition bisare kyo why people want a big car big house why because that gives them satisfaction dangor gari ekhon thakile মানুহ it is human nature ডাঙৰ ঘৰ এটা থাকিলে ভাবিব যে মোৰ ওচৰত বেছি পাৱাৰ আছে but is it the reality হয় নেকি ডাঙৰ ঘৰ এটা থাকিলে বহুত পাৱাৰফুল হয় নেকি it depends on how the person perceives the thing right some people in today's society most people actually they think that materialistic things are the symbol of status and maybe in the near future it might turn into a reality hobo pare but in general we at least in my perception I don't think that a big car or a big house will give you the utmost satisfaction that is why I mean next level of satisfaction ole ahu nahal to yate khatam hoy golten esteem jodi if the need of esteem was able to satisfy you to the utmost level then why would we have the next level of needs which is the need for self actualization in self actualization a person tries to fulfill the need of utilizing his potential or his abilities to the maximum level তাৰমানে নিজৰ যিমানখিনি ক্ষমতা আছে গোটেইখিনি ইউটিলাইজ কৰি নিজে যি বিচাৰে সেইটোৱে কৰিব বিচাৰে. That is the need of your self-actualization. In this kind of need, the person tries to succeed to his full potential. If in the earlier stages he wanted to become suppose a musician, but the person due to some factors he was not able to become a musician. But after fulfilling all these needs, he will try to somehow evolve himself in becoming a musician. Kisuman manu dekhiba noy retirement or pisot jitu korile jibon, after that he will try to do something in which he was actually, which would actually bring him happiness from inner happiness. Hetu try kore na manue. That is the need of your self actualization. Okay. In my next class, I will again take up this in gist, and then I will start with the next topic of your next theory of your Frederick's hygiene theory. Hygiene theory to my start korim. Okay. Thank you.